Hey ladies, my name is Jamie Farley and I am thrilled that you have chosen to join us for our very first Vital Ladies pop-up party. There are actually 5 of these pop-up parties happening all over town this weekend where dozens of women are gathering together to laugh, be encouraged, and share stories about their journey. So thank you for making time for this weekend. I also want to give a shout out to our host for opening up her home to us and all of the things that she has done to prepare for this moment. So thank you again, host, for all the love that you've poured out to us today. I want to share real quickly with you about how we see. I want to challenge you on how we see. How you see God, how you see yourself, and how you see others. First, I want to challenge you to see God for who He really is. He is a loving God, a loving Father who cares about you. He knows the very numbers of hair that is on your head. That is how much He cares about you. He created you. He put your gifts and your personality inside of you, and He knows you. He knows you better than you know yourself. He knows you better than anyone else knows you, and He has good things in store for you. He's not the man upstairs looking down, waiting to discipline you, waiting for you to mess up. That's not who He is. He cares about you, He loves you, and He has a plan for you. The second thing is I want to challenge you on how you see yourself. I want you to see yourself for who you really are. You see, the thing is, who you really are is not determined by what other people say. Who you really are, it really isn't even determined by what you say about yourself. Who you are is determined by who God says you are, because He created you. So He's the only one that can speak the truth about who you are, because He's the one that made you who you are. And you are perfectly made in His image. You are loved by God. You are valuable. You are worth something. You are priceless. You are chosen. You are anointed. You are called by God. He has a plan for you. He has a purpose for you. He has good things in store for you. And so your identity should be founded by what He says, not by what your boss says, not by what your children say, not by what your parents say, not by what your spouse says if you're married. It's not based on what your best friend says about you. It's not based on what a stranger or a teacher has said about you. Who you are is based on who He says you are. And so I just want that to settle into your heart, because He says you're worthy. He says you're valuable. He says you matter. He says your voice matters, right? He sent His Son Jesus to die on the cross for you. And before that, Jesus came and He broke through cultural barriers so that women could have a voice, so that women would know their value and their worth. And so not only did He send His Son to die on the cross, which is more than enough, more than we could ever deserve, but He sent His Son and He broke through cultural barriers to say that women matter, you matter, you have a voice, and He wants to hear it. He wants to hear from you, and He wants to be in a relationship with you. So how you see yourself matters, but it should line up with how He sees you. And then lastly, I want to challenge you with how you see others. I want us to see others how God sees them. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes people can be challenging. People aren't always easy to love. Not you, you're easy to love, right? But we can be challenging and we can be difficult, and we have emotions and opinions, and we're all different, right? So raise your hand if you have been annoyed by someone this week. Come on. All right, now look around. And if someone isn't raising their hand, they must not have left their home this week, and they must have been by themselves, because it doesn't take long to be out in society and out in our world for someone to rub you the wrong way. But we are supposed to go against the grain of culture. Instead of critiquing people, instead of criticizing, instead of bad-mouthing and bashing, we're supposed to love. We're supposed to love people. And we need to remember that everyone has a story. There is a backstory to every behavior, right? There's a backstory to every attitude, right? So we need to remember that and see people the way that God sees people. We've become a culture of critics, and I'm not really sure how or why we got there, and I'm not going to debate that today. But the worst part about it is that people would rather be right than to see someone succeed. And I don't know about you, but I would rather be wrong and see someone succeed than to fight to be right and to see someone fail. So I say this, as women, let's cheer each other on. Let's cheer others on. And instead of critiquing each other, let's remember that every person has a story, and we get to be a part of shifting their story to a positive direction, right? So that's my challenge for you today. So I want you to put on your glasses, and I want to challenge you to see God for who He is, to see yourself for who you are, and to see others for how He sees them. I also want to challenge you to go home and read 1 Corinthians 13. It's a beautiful, beautiful example, a beautiful definition of love that we are to aspire to be like. And that just looks like Jesus. It looks like who God is. So if you don't have a Bible, you can download the Bible app, and that's 1 Corinthians 13, and read that on your own and just be challenged and encouraged by His love for you. And then challenge yourself to love others that way also. I love you, ladies. Thank you again so much for coming to the very first Vital Ladies pop-up party. Have a great day, and I hope to see you soon.